Ladies and gentlemen, time is one of the most precious things we have, yet it is often the one thing we take for granted. We rush through our days always thinking there's more time, but the truth is, time doesn't wait for anyone. The way we use our time defines who we are and where we're going in life. Every minute that passes is a minute we can never get back, so it's essential to learn how to appreciate the value of time. Time is the one thing in life that is constant, yet it is the most fleeting. It never stops, never slows down, and never waits for anyone. Every second that passes is one we can never reclaim, and that is both the beauty and the tragedy of time. Time doesn't wait for us to make up our minds, to choose a direction, or to take that first step toward our dreams. It moves forward relentlessly, without ever considering how we feel about it. The awareness of this can be daunting, but it also has the potential to be transformative. The value of time lies in its irreplaceability, unlike material possessions or opportunities that can be regained or replaced. Time once spent is gone forever. This realization should push us to make more intentional choices. If we look at time as a precious commodity, we begin to make every moment count. Whether it's spending time with loved ones, advancing in our careers, or dedicating time to self-care, the moments we have now are all we truly own. Tomorrow is never promised, and the future is an unknown. So how do we learn to value time? The first step is understanding that we often take it for granted. We waste time, sometimes unknowingly, by waiting for the right time to act, or by procrastinating. We tell ourselves that we will get to things later, or that we have plenty of time to accomplish our goals. But what happens when later never comes? What happens when we realize that those moments we thought we had have slipped away quietly while we were distracted? To truly value time, we need to be conscious of how we spend it. Every minute is an opportunity to do something meaningful, to make progress toward our goals, or simply to enjoy the company of those who matter most. When we start treating time with this level of respect, we become more present in our life. We stop rushing through the days and start appreciating the small moments that make life rich and full. As we get older, we begin to see just how much time we have wasted. We regret the things we didn't do, the risks we didn't take, and the relationships we neglected. But regret is not the only lesson time offers. It also teaches us the importance of living with intention. When we choose to be deliberate with our time, we stop letting it slip away unnoticed. We begin to see every day as a chance to create the life we want. The beauty of time is that it's not about the quantity of hours we have, but how we use those hours. It's about making the most of each moment, no matter how big or small. Time does not discriminate between the simple joys of life and the big milestones. Both are valuable and both are worth our attention. When we begin to appreciate the value of time, we start living a more purposeful life, one that is filled with meaning, connection, and growth. Time is a powerful teacher. It shows us how important it is to live fully, to be mindful of the present, and to never take a single moment for granted. The value of time lies in the way we choose to use it. If we want to live a life that matters, we must learn to cherish and protect the time we have, for it is the only resource we can never get back. When we talk about the value of time, one of the most important aspects is understanding how to prioritize what truly matters. We often find ourselves lost in the rush of daily life, juggling responsibilities, desires, and distractions. Yet despite all the noise, there are certain things in life that should always come first. The key to making time work for us lies in our ability to prioritize. If we don't decide what's important, life will dictate it for us, and often It's not what we would have chosen. Prioritizing time means making decisions about where we spend our energy and focus. It's about consciously choosing how we use the limited hours of the day to align with our deepest values and aspirations. When we don't prioritize, we end up wasting time on things that don't bring us any closer to our goals or happiness. We find ourselves caught in the endless cycle of doing things because they're urgent or because we feel obligated, not because they align with what we truly want in life. Life is full of demands, from work, family, friends, and even society. The constant pressure to meet deadlines, handle responsibilities, and cater to everyone's needs can easily lead us to lose sight of our own priorities. This is where time management becomes crucial. It's not just about squeezing more tasks into your day. It's about being deliberate with how you allocate your time. What are the things that truly deserve your attention? What brings you joy, growth, or fulfillment? These are the things that should take precedence. The process of prioritizing begins with self-awareness. You need to know what matters to you most, whether that's nurturing relationships, advancing in your career, or spending time doing something that makes your soul come alive. When you are clear on your values and your goals, it becomes easier to make choices that reflect those priorities. This clarity allows you to say no to distractions, temptations, and demands that don't serve your greater purpose. One of the challenges of prioritizing time is the pressure of external expectations. We live in a world where we are constantly being told what we should do, what we should achieve, and what will make us successful. There is often a fear of missing out on opportunities or not keeping up with others, which can cloud our judgment about what really matters. But true success is not about meeting external expectations. It's about fulfilling your own vision for your life. If you are constantly chasing after the opinions of others, you will never have time to focus on what is truly important to you. Prioritizing time also means recognizing that not everything can be done at once. Life isn't about multitasking, despite the fact that society often glorifies it. The more we try to do at once, the less we accomplish in the end. Multitasking may seem efficient, but in reality, it leads to burnout, mistakes, and a sense of emptiness, because we're never fully present in any one thing. When we prioritize, we give our full attention to what matters most in the moment, and this leads to greater productivity and satisfaction. Moreover, prioritizing time helps us protect our well-being. By giving time to self-care, relaxation, and rest, we ensure that we have the energy and clarity to tackle what's ahead. It's easy to fall into the trap of thinking that we don't have time to rest or recharge. But in reality, rest is an investment in your future productivity and well-being. Without taking care of yourself, it becomes impossible to take care of anything or anyone else. Prioritizing time means making time for yourself and for activities that restore your physical, emotional, and mental health. The power of prioritizing time extends to relationships as well. In a world where distractions are everywhere, spending quality time with family, friends, or loved ones can be a rare and precious commodity. It's easy to let time slip away without truly connecting with the people who matter most. But when we prioritize relationships, we give them the attention they deserve, and in turn, they strengthen our sense of belonging and support. These connections are often the ones that provide us with the most joy and meaning, and when we give them time, they enrich our lives in ways that go beyond any material achievement. Prioritizing time is not just about making better use of our hours. It's about making our hours meaningful. It's about being intentional with how we spend our time and ensuring that it aligns with what we value most. When we make time for the things that matter, we begin to live with purpose and direction rather than being swept along by the currents of life. It's the art of living consciously, and in doing so, we create a life that truly reflects who we are and what we care about. Procrastination is one of the most dangerous ways we waste time, yet it's something nearly everyone struggles with at some point in their lives. It's easy to tell ourselves that we'll do things later, that we have plenty of time, or that the task isn't urgent enough to warrant our immediate attention. But procrastination doesn't just delay tasks. It also causes stress, anxiety, and a sense of guilt that builds up over time. It's a thief that steals our time without us even realizing it. And the more we let it control us, the more it chips away at our ability to be productive, happy, and fulfilled. When we procrastinate, we're often avoiding discomfort. Whether it's the fear of failure, the complexity of the task, or simply not wanting to deal with something unpleasant, procrastination is a coping mechanism. We put off the things we don't want to do, but in doing so, we only make matters worse. The task doesn't go away. It sits there waiting, often becoming more daunting as time passes. The longer we delay, the bigger the mountain feels, and the more difficult it becomes to start. The root of procrastination often lies in our inability to manage our emotions effectively. We may feel overwhelmed by the sheer size of a project or discouraged by a lack of immediate results. This emotional resistance causes us to avoid taking action. But procrastination feeds into this cycle of negative emotions, creating a vicious loop where the more we avoid the task, the more stressed we become, which in turn makes us more likely to procrastinate further. It's an endless cycle that only intensifies over time, leading to a sense of being stuck or unable to move forward. Another factor that contributes to procrastination is a lack of clear goals or priority. When we don't have a defined sense of what needs to be done or why it matters, it's easy to push tasks aside. We may think, I'll get to it when I have more time. But if we don't have a clear purpose or deadline, it's easy to let time slip away. Without a sense of urgency or importance, tasks seem less pressing, and we find ourselves distracted by things that feel easier or more enjoyable in the moment. This is especially true in today's fast-paced, distraction-heavy world, where notifications and social media pull us in every direction, making it harder to focus on what really matters. Procrastination is often linked to perfectionism as well. We may delay a task because we fear it won't be perfect, or we think that if we wait long enough, we'll somehow find the perfect time or approach. This perfectionist mindset leads to a paralyzing fear of making mistakes, causing us to avoid starting altogether. The truth, however, is that waiting for the perfect moment or the perfect conditions rarely leads to progress. In fact, it often results in missed opportunities, as the task gets pushed further down the list until it's too late to complete it effectively. The effects of procrastination go beyond just the tasks we avoid. It affects our entire mindset and sense of well-being. As we put things off, we build up a mental burden, a weight that hangs over us and prevents us from fully enjoying the present moment. Every time we think about a task we're avoiding, we add to this mental load, which can lead to feelings of guilt and frustration. We may find ourselves distracted by the tasks we've left undone, and this distraction keeps us from focusing on the things that really matter in the here and now. The good news is that procrastination can be overcome. The first step is to acknowledge it and understand why it happens. We must stop making excuses for why we haven't done something and start recognizing the emotional triggers that lead us to avoid tasks. Once we identify the reasons behind our procrastination, we can start to take small steps toward breaking the cycle. Breaking tasks into smaller, manageable chunks can make them feel less overwhelming. Setting clear deadlines and holding ourselves accountable can create a sense of urgency, helping us move past the mental roadblocks that keep us stuck. Another effective way to combat procrastination is to address the emotional barriers that drive it. This might mean accepting that not everything we do will be perfect, and that making mistakes is part of the learning process. When we allow ourselves to be imperfect and start taking action, we free ourselves from the paralyzing fear that often accompanies procrastination. It's also important to remember that we don't need to do everything at once. Progress, no matter how small, is still progress. Self-compassion is key. Instead of beating ourselves up for procrastinating, we need to treat ourselves with kindness and patience. The more we criticize ourselves, the more we reinforce negative feelings that make it harder to take action. By acknowledging that we are human and that everyone struggles with procrastination at times, we can release the shame and guilt that often accompany it. This allows us to move forward without the weight of self-criticism holding us back. Procrastination may never be entirely gone, but with self-awareness, effective strategies, and a shift in mindset, we can take control of our time and stop allowing procrastination to rob us of the life we want to live. The key is to start now, even if it's just a small step forward, and let go of the need for perfection. Time waits for no one, and the longer we let procrastination take hold, the more we miss out on the moments that truly matter. The future is shaped by how we use our time today. Each decision we make, each hour we spend, contributes to the life we will eventually live. This is why it is essential to understand the profound impact that time has on our future. Time is not something that waits for us to catch up, nor is it something we can pause and rewind. Every day that passes becomes a part of our past, and our future is continuously being created by the choices we make in the present. The importance of using time wisely cannot be overstated. It is not just about working hard or being busy. It is about making decisions that will lead us to the life we want to live. When we are intentional with our time, we create a path that aligns with our long-term goals. Without a clear sense of how we want to use our time, we risk letting life happen to us instead of actively shaping it. Time is the most valuable asset we have, and once it is gone, we cannot get it back. So it is crucial to understand that every minute, every second is an opportunity to invest in our future. Whether we are studying, working, building relationships, or pursuing passions, how we choose to spend our time directly affects where we will be tomorrow, next year, and far beyond. The decisions we make today set the course for our future. If we choose to spend our time on things that align with our values and long-term goals, we create a future that reflects those decisions. For example, dedicating time to learning and growing professionally can lead to career advancements, while prioritizing relationships can lead to a stronger support system and greater fulfillment. On the other hand, wasting time on distractions or pursuits that do not serve our goals can lead us down a path of regret, wishing we had used our time more wisely. The truth is that the future we envision depends on the actions we take today. Time is the bridge that connects the present to the future, and how we cross that bridge will determine the quality of the life we experience. One of the most significant challenges we face is the temptation to procrastinate or delay important tasks, thinking that we can always do it later. However, this mindset is dangerous because time waits for no one. The more we put things off, the more we risk falling behind or missing out on opportunities. When we procrastinate, we are essentially giving away pieces of our future. The time we waste today is time that could have been used to advance toward our goals, whether it's personal or professional. Delaying important tasks may feel easier in the moment, but in the long run, it only creates more stress and regret. By embracing a proactive approach to time management, we can take control of our future and ensure that we are making the most of every opportunity. Another crucial aspect of time's impact on our future is consistency. It's not always about big, dramatic actions. Sometimes it's the small, consistent choices that lead to the most significant results. A single decision may seem insignificant at the time, but when repeated over time, it compounds and leads to meaningful change. Whether it's exercising regularly, reading daily, or saving money consistently, the small actions we take each day add up over time and shape the person we become. This is why it's so important to be mindful of how we spend our time on a day-to-day basis. Consistency in using time wisely is what ultimately leads to success and fulfillment in the future. We also need to recognize that the future is unpredictable, and while we cannot control everything that happens, we can control how we use our time in the present. Time is the one thing we have complete control over. We cannot predict the future, but we can make the most of the time we have now. By investing our time in the right areas, whether it's personal development, relationships, or work, we position ourselves to handle whatever the future brings. Life is full of uncertainty, but by being intentional with how we use our time, we can create a foundation for a future that aligns with our values and aspirations. The key to making time work for us is to realize that it is a resource, and like any resource, it must be managed effectively. We must prioritize the things that matter most and make conscious decisions about where we invest our time. The future we desire is not a distant dream. It is a series of decisions and actions we take today. The more we understand the value of time and how it shapes our future, the more empowered we become to create the life we want. Time is the canvas, and the way we use it paints the picture of our future. Every choice we make today adds another brushstroke to that picture, and with every brushstroke, we move closer to the future we envision. The future is shaped by how we use our time today. Each decision we make, each hour we spend, contributes to the life we will eventually live. This is why it is essential to understand the profound impact that time has on our future. Time is not something that waits for us to catch up, nor is it something we can pause and rewind. Every day that passes becomes a part of our past, and our future is continuously being created by the choices we make in the present. The importance of using time wisely cannot be overstated. It is not just about working hard or being busy. It is about making decisions that will lead us to the life we want to live. When we are intentional with our time, we create a path that aligns with our long-term goals. Without a clear sense of how we want to use our time, we risk letting life happen to us instead of actively shaping it. Time is the most valuable asset we have, and once it is gone, we cannot get it back. So it is crucial to understand that every minute, every second is an opportunity to invest in our future. Whether we are studying, working, building relationships, or pursuing passions, how we choose to spend our time directly affects where we will be tomorrow, next year, and far beyond. The decisions we make today set the course for our future. If we choose to spend our time on things that align with our values and long-term goals, we create a future that reflects those decisions. For example, dedicating time to learning and growing professionally can lead to career advancements, while prioritizing relationships can lead to a stronger support system and greater fulfillment. On the other hand, wasting time on distractions or pursuits that do not serve our goals can lead us down a path of regret, wishing we had used our time more wisely. The truth is that the future we envision depends on the actions we take today. Time is the bridge that connects the present to the future, and how we cross that bridge will determine the quality of the life we experience. One of the most significant challenges we face is the temptation to procrastinate or delay important tasks, thinking that we can always do it later. However, this mindset is dangerous because time waits for no one. The more we put things off, the more we risk falling behind or missing out on opportunities. When we procrastinate, we are essentially giving away pieces of our future. The time we waste today is time that could have been used to advance toward our goals, whether it's personal or professional. Delaying important tasks may feel easier in the moment, but in the long run, it only creates more stress and regret. By embracing a proactive approach to time management, we can take control of our future and ensure that we are making the most of every opportunity. Another crucial aspect of time's impact on our future is consistency. It's not always about big, dramatic actions. Sometimes it's the small, consistent choices that lead to the most significant results. A single decision may seem insignificant at the time, but when repeated over time, it compounds and leads to meaningful change. Whether it's exercising regularly, reading daily, or saving money consistently, the small actions we take each day add up over time and shape the person we become. This is why it's so important to be mindful of how we spend our time on a day-to-day basis. Consistency in using time wisely is what ultimately leads to success and fulfillment in the future. We also need to recognize that the future is unpredictable, and while we cannot control everything that happens, we can control how we use our time in the present. Time is the one thing we have complete control over. We cannot predict the future, but we can make the most of the time we have now. By investing our time in the right areas, whether it's personal development, relationships, or work, we position ourselves to handle whatever the future brings. Life is full of uncertainty, but by being intentional with how we use our time, we can create a foundation for a future that aligns with our values and aspirations. The key to making time work for us is to realize that it is a resource, and like any resource, it must be managed effectively. We must prioritize the things that matter most and make conscious decisions about where we invest our time. The future we desire is not a distant dream. It is a series of decisions and actions we take today. The more we understand the value of time and how it shapes our future, the more empowered we become to create the life we want. Time is the canvas, and the way we use it paints the picture of our future. Every choice we make today adds another brushstroke to that picture, and with every brushstroke, we move closer to the future we envision. Time is a resource that we can control, yet we have the power to decide how we use it. Managing time effectively is essential for creating balance in our lives. So often, we find ourselves overwhelmed by the constant demands of work, family, and social commitments. We feel as though we're always running against the clock, with little time for ourselves, for rest, or for the things that truly matter. But the truth is that managing our time well isn't about squeezing in more tasks or simply getting through the day. It's about creating space for both productivity and relaxation, ensuring that our lives are balanced and fulfilling. One of the first steps to managing time effectively is to understand our priorities. Without a clear sense of what truly matters, it's easy to get lost in the shuffle of everyday life. We can end up spending too much time on things that don't contribute to our long-term goals or happiness. Whether it's answering emails, attending meetings, or tackling chores, we often find ourselves doing things out of habit or because they seem urgent, not necessarily because they are important. The key to time management is learning to distinguish between what needs immediate attention and what can wait. By doing so, we can make more intentional decisions about where we focus our energy. Effective time management also requires setting boundaries. In today's world, where the line between work and personal life is often blurred, it's easy to get caught up in the constant demands of others. People may expect us to be available at all hours, and technology makes it easier than ever to be constantly connected. But setting boundaries is essential for maintaining balance. This means saying no when necessary, whether it's turning down a request for your time or setting limits on how much work you take home. By establishing these boundaries, we protect our time and ensure that we have room for the things that truly matter: our health, relationships, and personal well-being. Another important aspect of managing time effectively is learning to delegate. Many of us feel the need to do everything ourselves, often taking on too much and feeling overwhelmed as a result. Delegating tasks to others, whether at work or at home, is not a sign of weakness, but rather a smart strategy for managing time. When we delegate, we free up time for ourselves to focus on higher priority tasks. It also allows others to take ownership and contribute, which can lead to better outcomes in the long run. By letting go of some control and trusting others, we create space in our lives for rest, self-care, and the activities that bring us joy. A crucial part of effective time management is understanding the importance of rest and downtime. In our fast-paced world, it's easy to fall into the trap of thinking that we should always be working, always be productive. We are often conditioned to equate busyness with success, but this mindset can lead to burnout and exhaustion. Rest is not a luxury, it is a necessity. Taking regular breaks, getting enough sleep, and spending time relaxing or engaging in activities that recharge us are all vital for maintaining our physical and mental health. When we take the time to rest and rejuvenate, we actually become more productive and focused when we return to our tasks. Time management also involves being present in the moment. It's easy to get caught up in the future, planning for what's next, worrying about upcoming deadlines, or stressing over what we still need to do. But when we are constantly focused on what's ahead, we miss out on the present moment. Being present allows us to fully engage with our work, our relationships, and ourselves. It enables us to enjoy the little things, appreciate the people around us, and make the most of every day. Mindfulness, the practice of being aware and present in the moment, is an excellent tool for managing time more effectively. By practicing mindfulness, we become more intentional with our actions and decisions, ensuring that we are using our time in ways that align with our values. Prioritizing our time also means making space for personal growth. Often we get so caught up in meeting external demands that we forget to invest in ourselves. Whether it's learning a new skill, pursuing a hobby, or simply taking time for self-reflection, personal growth is an essential part of a balanced life. When we make time for our own development, we build confidence, creativity, and resilience, all of which benefit our relationships and career. Time invested in personal growth is never wasted. It is an investment in our future. Effective time management is a lifelong practice that requires ongoing reflection and adjustment. As our priorities shift and our circumstances change, we must continually reassess how we are using our time. Life is dynamic, and so is the way we manage our time. It's important to remain flexible and adapt as needed. By maintaining this level of awareness, we ensure that our time is always aligned with our values and goals, leading to a more balanced, fulfilling life. Time is a precious resource, and how we choose to manage it determines the quality of our life. When we think about time, we often focus on productivity and achievement. However, another crucial aspect of time is the quality of how we spend it. Quality time is not just a matter of filling hours with activities or tasks. It's about engaging in moments that truly nourish our minds, hearts, and spirits. Too often we get caught up in the hustle of daily life, constantly moving from one obligation to another, and forget the importance of slowing down to appreciate the richness of each moment. In a world that celebrates productivity, we sometimes overlook the profound value of simply being present and engaged with the people and experiences around us. Quality time does not require an endless stream of activities or events. It's about depth rather than breadth. This means that instead of trying to fill every moment with distractions or tasks, we focus on being fully immersed in what we're doing, whether it's spending time with family, pursuing a passion, or even taking time for ourselves. The power of quality time lies in its ability to create meaningful experiences that leave us feeling fulfilled rather than drained. When we are truly present in the moment, we build deeper connections, find more joy, and develop a stronger sense of purpose. One of the most common misconceptions about time is that the more we do, the more fulfilled we will feel. Many people equate busyness with success or accomplishment, but in reality, being constantly busy doesn't necessarily lead to happiness or satisfaction. It's easy to get caught in the trap of thinking that we need to be doing something at all times to feel valuable. But when we're constantly in motion, rushing from one task to the next, we miss out on the small, meaningful moments that make life truly worthwhile. We lose the ability to be fully present, to savor the people and experiences that are most important to us. In contrast, quality time is not about doing more, but about being more present in what we're doing. It's about stopping to appreciate the moments, however small they may seem. One of the areas where quality time is most important is in our relationships, whether it's with family, friends, or romantic partners. The time we spend together is often what strengthens the bond and creates lasting memory. In today's digital age, where we are constantly connected to screens, it's easy to get distracted during our interactions with others. We might be physically present, but mentally and emotionally, we're somewhere. This kind of distracted presence can lead to misunderstandings, feelings of disconnection, and ultimately a sense of loneliness, even when we're surrounded by people. True quality time in relationships means being fully engaged, listening with intent, and creating shared experiences that deepen our connections. It's about giving others our undivided attention and showing that we value them through our actions and work. Quality time isn't limited to our interactions with others. It's also about the time we spend with ourselves. In the rush of everyday life, we often neglect our own needs, passions, and desires. We may feel that taking time for ourselves is selfish or indulgent, but in reality, it's essential for our well-being. Whether it's engaging in a hobby, taking a walk in nature, or simply resting, spending quality time with ourselves helps us recharge, reflect, and gain clarity. It allows us to reconnect with our inner selves, evaluate our goals, and find peace in the midst of a busy world. When we take the time to nurture our own happiness, we become better equipped to show up for others and contribute meaningfully to our communities and relationships. There's also an important connection between quality time and personal growth. Time spent in introspection or focused learning can lead to profound insights and personal transformation. Instead of rushing through life, constantly ticking off tasks from a never-ending list, taking time to reflect, meditate, or engage in meaningful study can lead to deeper understanding, growth, and clarity. This time of reflection is not just about getting things done, but about nurturing our own development. It's about becoming better versions of ourselves by investing in the things that help us grow, whether that's emotional intelligence, intellectual knowledge, or spiritual awareness. Another critical aspect of quality time is how we manage distractions. In a world full of constant notifications, messages, and information, it's easy to feel overwhelmed and distracted. These distractions pull us away from the present moment, making it harder to focus on what really matters. To experience true quality time, We must learn how to disconnect from these distractions and create space for deep, meaningful engagement. This means turning off our phones during dinner with family, setting boundaries at work, and carving out time for activities that promote presence and mindfulness. By reducing distractions, we allow ourselves to fully immerse in the moment and create richer, more meaningful experiences. Quality time is about intentionality. It's about making conscious choices to spend time on the things and people that bring us joy, fulfillment, and growth. It's about being mindful of how we use our time and ensuring that we invest it in ways that contribute to our well-being and happiness. When we prioritize quality over quantity, we create a life that is full of meaningful experiences, deep connections, and lasting memories. Time, after all, is a gift, and how we choose to spend it shapes the life we